This has been a month of controversies. I'll be discussing the Proving Grounds Nightfall, Guardian games, and Transmog. Timestamps are in the description below. Let's get right into it. The Proving Grounds strike was added into the game back in March. On March 30th, this strike became the weekly Nightfall. While that all sounds perfectly normal, some players discovered that they couldn't launch this new Nightfall strike. It turns out only players who own both Beyond Light and Season of the Chosen could run the Proving Grounds Nightfall. As you might imagine, this didn't go over too well considering the Bungie roadmap listed Proving Grounds as being free for all players. The little icon in the corner of each box indicates the requirements for the listed activity. The classic Destiny logo indicates an activity that is free for all players. As you might have noticed, the little Destiny free for all players icon is present in the corner of the Proving Grounds Strike/Nightfall box. Bungie acknowledged this mistake in their April 1st TWAB. According to their response, all Nightfalls require ownership of their associated expansion to access. In other words, oops, we screwed up the calendar and you need to own both Beyond Light and Season of the Chosen to play the Nightfall. Anyone want to take a guess at the community response to that tweet? I don't have a Twitter, but I could still sense a great disturbance in the internet. I do understand the backlash, as this could be seen as deceptive advertising. Even if free-to-play players didn't get access to the strike, since it was added as part of Season of the Chosen, it is reasonable to assume that anyone who purchased Season of the Chosen would have access to it. Yes, it sucks for free-to-play players, but imagine buying the season and still not getting to play the Nightfall that is listed under the season you paid money for. Bungie did eventually backtrack on this stance. They announced during the April 15th TWAB that the Proving Grounds Nightfall would now be available to all players who owned either Beyond Light or Season of the Chosen. On April 20th, the second annual Guardian Games returned. If you are new to this event, each class competes against one another to see which class can earn the most medals. In a nutshell, you do bounties to earn medals so you can deposit those medals and earn mediocre loot. The one thing I do recommend is that you deposit medals until earning the Heir Apparent Catalyst. It dropped for me pretty quickly. I think it happened after I deposited a platinum medal. Once obtained, you'll need to deposit more medals to unlock it. So where is the controversy here? I promised controversy in my introduction. Well, the controversy revolves around suspected chicanery in the Guardian Game scoring system last year. For anyone unaware, Hunters outnumber Titans and Warlocks by a lot. Since the core concept of Guardian Games consisted of doing activities to earn medals, Hunters have a clear advantage by the fact that there are so many of them. In response to this, Bungie made some changes to the scoring last year so that Hunters were weighted equally. The end result was that Hunters crushed the very first day of Guardian Games and proceeded to come in last every day after. This launched countless conspiracy theories about Bungie sabotaging the Hunters. This year, Bungie came up with a new system. The class that comes in third place each day will receive a permanent 10% score bonus. Will this solve all of the problems with Guardian Games? Will there still be rumblings of chicanery after the winning class is decided? Will the winning class receive another tiny statue to mark the occasion? Only time will tell. May 11th is the last day of Season of the Chosen. We are getting a new shader system next season, and that new system is going to render all existing shaders useless. That means you need to delete your existing shaders before May 11th if you want the Glimmer and Legendary shards. As deleting shaders is a tedious process, remember that you can head over to Raoul to speed up things. Yeah, look at those shaders delete. Yeah, this is some really engaging gameplay. Gotta get those Legendary shards. You know what? While this is going on, I am going to take this opportunity to smash that like button. In fact, I'll go ahead and even subscribe for more Destiny 2 content. It's time to talk about Transmog. For anyone unaware, Transmog is a system for altering the appearance of your armor to look like another piece of armor. As someone who enjoys the cosmetic aspects of Destiny 2, this is something I've wanted for a long time. We are officially getting Transmog next season, and Bungie provided details on how this system will work. First, we'll defeat enemies to earn Synth Strand. Next, we'll spend Synth Strand on bounties to earn Synth Cord. Then, convert Synth Cord at the loom and the tower into Synth Weave. Finally, use Synth Weave to convert an unlocked armor appearance from collections into a universal ornament. It will be possible to earn a maximum of 10 Synth Weave per class per season. Next season is a unique exception, as we'll be able to earn an additional 10 Synth Weave per class as part of the introduction. Additionally, it will be possible to purchase Synth Weave in the Eververse store with silver, aka real money, and there is no limit on the amount that can be purchased. That's the quick and dirty explanation. The 422 TWAB can provide full details if you are interested. Let's start with the good. I'm looking forward to Transmog, and I'll reserve my judgment on the system itself until I've actually used it. On the surface, it sounds great. I'll be able to make my good stat armor look like any other piece of armor. I'm excited at the prospect of living vicariously through my Titan by making him look stylish while I'm just sitting here in a dirty t-shirt. Now let's talk about some of my complaints. The first thing that jumps out at me is the introduction of 3 new currencies into the game. Do we really need Synth Strand, Synth Cord, and Synth Weave? We've already got all these other currencies that are practically useless. I'm sitting on this massive stockpile of legendary shards and gunsmith materials. Oh, and then there are all the planetary resources. Plus you got the random stuff like Here Always pieces. Inventory management is my personal pet peeve in Destiny 2, and adding new materials like this is just making the problem worse. My hope is that somehow these synth materials won't actually sit in inventory. Maybe they'll have a special place like the Dawning Oven that holds all the materials. I'm just dreaming though. We all know that this is going to be more inventory to manage. My biggest concern / complaint about this new system revolves around Eververse. Back in the early days of Destiny 1, the pre-Eververse days, if there's something really cool in the game, you would earn that cool thing by playing the game. As Eververse started taking off, we saw more and more of the cool cosmetic items that could previously be earned in-game get moved behind a paywall, and Transmog is just another example of this progression. Bungie could have maintained some goodwill with the community by simply increasing the level of grind for materials after hitting a certain point. In other words, make it so hardcore players can continue to grind if desired, but don't just drop a seasonal cap and then hold out your hand for more money from players. To finish off this point, I've got a feeling that Bungie will increase the cap in the future. They are testing the waters right now to see how much they can get away with before the community explodes and the budget starts getting impacted. I suspect they'll make a lot of money from players purchasing Synthweave, and somewhere down the line they'll let us know that because they value the community so much, they are allowing us to earn more per season. The statement will probably end with, "We're listening." It's all corporate PR speak and doesn't actually mean anything. As a random guy on YouTube, I'll give my advice on the subject. Don't buy silver and don't spend real money in Eververse. If Bungie's bottom line gets impacted, they'll actually start listening to the community.